MBBS is a system that tries to give you the least possible marks as possible unless you write exceptionally well. MBBS in your first year will teach you about anatomy, biochemistry, physiology to make yourself prepared that when you enter the clinics in the second year, you understand what is going on. Therefore, they are known as your pre-clinical subjects. The first mistake that each and every single one of us commits is taking too much of a chill. We have just cracked our NEET UG and we have entered the medical college. We think that we are set for life.
Yes! Yes! Yeah!
But this is way further from the truth. We are in fact just starting a new journey. Let me explain. It is like climbing a mountain. You think you have climbed the mountain and you have reached the peak, but then you look up and you see another peak waiting for you.
मरना है क्या भोसड़ी के? मरना तेरे को डर नहीं लगता?
You think that all your efforts must have gone in vain. But let me tell you a small secret that I have learned in my MBBS. You need to understand that you need to enjoy the process of becoming a doctor, the process of studying, the process of going through those thick fat books and trying to understand. The process will keep you satisfied. The process will make your journey a much more conceivable goal and much more enjoyable goal. You should not feel that at the end of the goal I will become happy, but rather in the process, in the daily activities, in your clinical wards, in your understanding of those concepts. These are the moments where you will cherish, and you will get certain aha moments when you go into your clinics. If your first year MBBS is strong, you will go into your clinics and say, aha, I have studied that particular concept in physiology or anatomy, and now it is making sense to me. If you want those intellectual stimulation, if you want to be surprised on an intellectual basis, you need to make your first year strong. Therefore, it is important to find a balance between taking a chill and keeping your studies at par. And this is where most people mess up, and in fact even I messed up at this. So if I were to go back and tell Anirudh, it would be to take a proper balance between your studies and your chill time. The second mistake that we all do is that we do not understand how to study. Let me relate with this particular experience with what you must have faced earlier. In your 10th standard, 11th standard, 12th standard, you probably noticed a certain shift. With 10th standard, you could do away with just rote learning the particular matter. But when you came to your 11th standard and your 12th standard, especially chemistry and physics, you understood that I really have to understand those concepts. Otherwise, rote learning will not fetch me a seat in my NEET UG. So, same thing applies over here. You need to understand the new patterns and the new modes of studying. Yes, you must have noticed in your college that a handful of professors are good at their teaching job. Some of them may be good at your clinics, some of them may be good at practicals, some of them are excellent in classroom teaching. Therefore, you need to understand that there are other methods to study. There are animations, there are images, there are videos, there are so many different platforms available for you to study. So you need to pick and choose. In this subject, this particular topic, this teacher is better. Whether it is a Marrow or Prep Letter, Dr. Najib or any other YouTuber online, you need to understand that there are so many different methods to study and you are not just confined to your textbooks, right? If you want a proper external source to take care of your first year needs, I have made a complete review on the Marrow app, which can be found over here at the info cards. So if you want to start preparing for your NEET PG from your first year MBBS itself and gain a little bit more in-depth knowledge into these concepts, then that video is just for you. The third common mistake that even I committed was that I did not pay attention to your head, face, neck anatomy. Now, this particular topic is taught to you at the fag end of your first year MBBS, right? 2-3 months before your MBBS, you're taught about your head, face and neck, or at least they did in my college. Now you need to understand that head, face, neck is probably the most complex part of the human body. So many nerves, so many bones, so many structures. You probably have to visualize a lot for you to understand. Now head, face, neck, having a strong grasp of the anatomy, the structures and the concepts in this particular region will help you in your third year, when you may not necessarily have to go back to everything that you did in anatomy to understand, but a sound knowledge of head, face, neck will definitely help you in ENT and ophthalmology and so many other different areas. Because a lot of the nerves, right, your cranial nerves originate from here. A lot of your arteries, your major arteries, external, internal, carotid, so many different structures come from your head, face, neck. So if you have a sound knowledge of your head, face, neck, it will help you in your third year. It also helps you in your medicine when we will be testing all of these cranial nerves in your practical exam. The fourth common mistake that I want to introduce to you today is learning the new methods of studying. Apart from the things that I mentioned in point number 2, here I want to emphasize on the fact that there are new methods of studying backed by scientific research. Specifically 3 of these: active recall, spaced repetition, and the Cornell note-taking system. Now let me explain all of these side by side. Number 1 is spaced repetition. If we look at our memory curve, we forget 50% of the things that we study within 1 day of studying it. Now this may absolutely blow your mind, thinking that I'm at such of a disadvantage knowing this fact. But this applies to humans all across the board. So definitely it is not something that is personal, right? So you need to constantly space your revisions, space your reinforcement of the knowledge. Now Dr. Abbas Ali from Marrow says that you need to follow the 1-2-1-2-1 rule, which means that you revise a particular concept 1 day after studying it, then leave 2 days and revise the concept again. Then you need to revise the concept after 1 week, then you need to revise the concept after 2 weeks, and then after 1 month, and so on. He calls it the 1-2-1-2-1 system of learning, and I found this really helpful because every time you revise, every time you practice this particular revision technique, you will be reinforcing the information again and again. Therefore, the forgetting curve, which is pretty linear, you will not have a linear rate of forgetting. In fact, since when the information stored in your brain is coming down, you are reinforcing it with a revision session. So again you will have a learning curve upwards. And when again you're trying to forget the information, when your brain is trying to forget information, you'll be coming back and trying to revise those concepts again. So that in this spaced repetition, you are retaining those concepts for a much more longer duration than you expected. The second thing over here is active recall. Now it is not only important to reread your notes again and again. That is probably a very inefficient method of studying, and I definitely suffered in my first year and second year practicing this particular method. But active recall simply says that you need that once your information is in your brain, you need to practice the output in a much more efficient manner. For example, if you remember in our school days, we used to have this concept of questions and answers. Now, although your knowledge in your brain was completely fuzzy when you read in your textbooks, those questions, right? Those questions triggered something in your brain and the answer probably came to you automatically. That question that you had in your school days probably connected a few dots here and there, and you were able to formulate the answer in a much more coherent manner. We can probably apply the same method over here as well. To practice active recall, after reading your notes, you can close the book down and try to remember what you just studied. Now the goal over here is not to recall everything verbatim, meaning word to word. In fact, you need to understand that you're training your brain over here to practice recalling the subject matter. This in itself will over time will train your brain to think in terms of recall, to think in terms of an active revision format. The second method of active recall is answering questions. But of course in MBBS you are giving your exams only at the end of the semester. So how can you train yourself each and every single day? Now this is very simple. Write your own questions. Yes, in fact, take the time out to write your own questions. So what I typically do is that I read over the textbook for once, and then at the end of the study session, I come back to the first page and find out, okay, what are the concepts that I would probably forget in the future? And I write down specific questions that will target that specific information onto a Word file. And next time when I'm going to revise it a day or two later on, I will go back to those particular questions and try answering those questions. At the same time, I'm preparing for revision and I am giving an active output, an active recall. So these are the methods for you to understand in active recall. Now coming to the Cornell note-taking system, I am pretty sure Med School Insiders, which is a channel that I heavily referred to in my first year, second year, and even now, Dr. Kevin Jubal has made an extensive list of how to go through the Cornell note-taking system, and I will refer you to his complete YouTube channel over here. Please go look at it. I think he has explained it the best way possible, something I could not replicate in this particular video. Now comes the final mistake we do in our first year of MBBS. And now this is nothing to do with the academics per se, but this is to do with more of your extracurricular activities. Now, we in our 11th and 12th standard, we sacrificed a lot, right? We sacrificed our extracurricular activities, we sacrificed our sleep, we sacrificed our exercise, we sacrificed socializing, we had a ton of sacrifice, right? Right? The first year of MBBS is the point where you get some amount of freedom. And this is the time where you can find a perfect work-life balance just for you. Even now, if I go through a stressful period, I know that I need one gym session to absolutely rewire my brain so that I can focus at the job at hand. Exercise releases your feel-good hormones, your endorphins, your testosterone, your serotonin. So many different hormones come together to give you a focused attention when you're exercising. The benefits of exercise happen kind of in the midway of the workout and last the entire day. So if you're having some amount of stress, exercise is a really good stress buster. Now of course you're at home and there are countless amounts of home workout videos that you can refer to on YouTube, and all of them are of equal efficacy. So please go and make exercise a priority. Make sleep a priority. And let me tell you, sleep is the greatest medicine. It will relieve you of your stress. It will give you much more energy the next day, and it is also a state where you are in complete peace with yourself. So please make sleep a priority in your first year of MBBS or any year of MBBS for that matter. Of course, exercise is of paramount importance over here, so be sure to schedule it at least 4 to 5 times in a week. So that's it guys for this particular video. These were the 5 common mistakes that I committed in my first year of MBBS that I hope has found some value to you. These are the mistakes to avoid so that you can make your first year of MBBS journey completely a smooth sailing. Understand what is taught in the course syllabus and have a proper social life, a proper exercise routine, so on and so forth. Finally, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and comment in the comment section below what are the mistakes that you would want to avoid in your MBBS life. And if you like this particular channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel so that I know that you enjoy these videos and would want more of this particular content. So thanks a lot guys, and I will see you in the next one.